We got to move on because we've been going really long. We have a lot to recap because there was an Adventure Time bomb and a Weebay bomb and a Harvey.
Okay. We talked about the first 2 episodes of both bombs.
Of both the Weebay bomb and the Adventure Time. So it was just 3 episodes. Let's start with Weebay bombs because it's going to go quicker. There was the internet date, which was
hilarious,
really stressful for me. And not like the video part, it was the texting. It was like, oh my god, I'm going to throw up. Because I'm like,
I have no idea how that shit works. Like, I would be as scared as Panda. Like, I'm just gonna video chat with some person I just smiley face texted today. Like, what?
Yeah, somebody French who's like, I dig that. That would be intimidating.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what was really weird about that episode?
What?
Was, Grizz and Panda in black and white face.
Yeah,
you mean Grizz and Ice Bear?
Yes, yeah.
I liked it because it made me more cognizant of like that their anatomy is slightly different.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
I liked it too. I didn't think of it that way. They just
no,
painted
me neither. I just like the idea of that goof.
I mean, I love Grizz was like doing the bleach. It's like, oh, it's tingly. How long am I supposed to leave this in for? Like, he bleached his fur,
and
but
like there
not
was
the pants.
There was one part where he raised his hands in excitement and you could see his pits were still brown.
No, he leaned back with his head behind his hand being like, yeah, I'm pretty cool, and his pits were still brown.
That bit with the keyboard, what? Because like the normal goof is like it would fuck up almost immediately, but like it worked all the way up until the end.
Yeah. They had it.
It's like, like that's
Panda likes like 3 things.
Man, I tried online dating and it is a nightmare.
Don't do it.
I wouldn't know.
Here's the thing to everybody listening. If you are a man on OkCupid, you're kind of already perceived as a complete cretin. It's an impossible, you cannot get out of the black in that regard. So don't even bother. You're wasting everybody's time.
But I really like this character. I wanted to see more of her later because she was really fun.
Yeah. And then we got another episode of, and I coined this earlier today, and it's really weird I didn't coin it last time, Wee Babies.
Wee Babies.
Wee Babies.
Of them.
It's a comment on the millennial life issue experience.
What?
Wee Babies.
Oh,
Wee Babies.
I thought you meant the episode. It's like, this episode probably took place in the 90s. Well, I don't know, somebody was texting in it, so I'm not sure. I don't know how long, I don't know a bear's life cycle.
That's true, I didn't consider that.
Because, like, the implication is, they're in terms of maturity, in their, early to mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
But bears don't work that way, probably.
No. But we have another Cub episode. This one's called The Pet Shop. And the Cubs have a new plan. They want to get adopted. So they somehow found their way into a pet shop store window and are trying to get adopted and find forever homes, pushing all the other puppies and kitties out of the way.
and in the case of Ice Bear, pro wrestling the puppies out of the way.
Suplexing them.
He did a drop kick on that puppy.
That poor puppy.
Like, what's your ambition? It's just lucha.
Lucha. One thing I noticed about in this episode, because it's the second one with the Cubs, none of the other bears call Ice Bear Ice Bear.
I was going to bring this up. No other character has ever said Ice Bear out loud. Because in the next one, Chloe and Ice Bear, she never calls him by his name. And even in, I rewatched the episode with the crab. When they're looking for Ice Bear, they're just like, brother, little brother. They never call him Ice Bear.
Yeah, they only call him brother.
I don't understand why, but that's clearly deliberate.
Yeah, and then, and as a cub, he doesn't speak. But he does have cool spy ninja powers. I love when he, comes down from the ceiling on the leash. The extendo leash. Yeah.
So at the end, they each get adopted because they were cute in a commercial, but they're like, but they were all going to different homes. They're like, no, the most important thing is not to have a home, but to be together with my brothers. So they just they reunite at the end, and then they try to walk to Japan.
Yeah. And they each get adopted by, like, the perfect people for them. Like, Ice Bear's, like, in a little motorcycle, like... I don't know what
with
that's
like
called.
An old biker dude.
Yeah, like a cool old biker dude.
Yeah, with a skullet.
And then, Grizz is with some surfer duder, and Panda's with, like,
some
cute
hipster
girl.
Some cute hipster girl.
Yeah. But they leave it all behind so they can be each other.
And that's what it's really about. And then the last episode is just Ice Bear and Chloe hanging out. And Chloe doing her best to, like, have a good time with Ice Bear. But, like, Ice Bear, like, he's so hard to read. And it's so difficult to understand what he enjoys. Because he just won't say it. Because he has... Almost never will he construct a sentence that doesn't start with his own name.
Yeah.
So it's hard for him to communicate certain ideas.
Yeah, and, like, he just doesn't like a lot of things.
Yeah, it seems like he's really just tagging along with the other two most of the time.
Yeah.
I like him.
I mean, I love Ice Bear. I really did feel for Chloe, though. She was trying so hard to have fun.
Yeah.
And then that moment that he had with the albino alligator.
And alligators are scary sounding. That doesn't sound like an aminal noise.
Alligators are terrifying.
Yeah. That sounds like a noise that would come out of Silent Hill.
It was weird that he ate the jelly sandwich, though. It's like, alligator, you don't eat those. Okay.
Adventure time. So we got the three other episodes in this one were Cherry Cream Soda, which were Finn and Chick even in this one?
No.
I think it's another one of those. We find out that Cherry Cream Soda, we actually see a flashback of Root Beer Guy's death from the episode Something Big, which adds some, like, deserved gravitas to that moment, because that episode played it kind of very meanly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the darkest jokes the show has ever had. So we see his actual sacrifice, and we learn that Cherry Cream Soda has tried to move on with her life and is remarried to Starchy for some reason. And after all this time, still having trouble moving on. Like, every day she, like, wakes up and goes to the showers. Like, is that you, Root Beer Guy? She has been able to move on.
And we learned that's because PB essentially built them to be married to each other. Like, she made them for one another.
Yeah, she poured them out of a cool soda tab, and it's like, mwah, 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 mwah. It was the whole
You're
bit.
married!
So she, in an attempt to get closure, she finally buries his remains. And what, did they get electrified, was it?
Yeah.
So he comes back to life as Dirt Beer Guy, where it's just like his ashes in a jar and then some dirt for his body.
And a little cattail sticking out as a garnish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he tries to, enter back into Cherry Cream Soda's life, like where they just picked off, like, as if he didn't die. It's a huge point of conflict between the three of them, which is a really adult story to tell, because that's like a thing that happens.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and a lot in media where, like, somebody thinks you think somebody's dead because they're, like, I don't know, a POW or something. That's stories. And
He's also super strong and destroys the house.
yeah, him kind of accidentally destroying the house was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Because the whole time he's destroying the house, he's talking in that meek voice he has.
His voice is so cute. Who voices him?
I'm looking that up right now. If you type root beer into Google, Root Beer Guy is the third thing that shows up.
As it should.
Jack Pendarvis.
I don't know who that is.
Jack Pendarvis. He's a storyline artist. Yeah, he's on the writing team and whatnot.
But yeah, Starchy gets, like, super protective and stupid and possessive and is, like, trying to, like, bar Dirt Beer Guy out of the house, and, like, he's, like, attacking him, and Cherry Cream Soda, like, breaks it up, and she's like, you guys are the worst. And, like, I don't want to be with either of you. Get the hell out of here.
And then at the end she's like, to Dirt Beer Guy's like, we could start dating. We've never done that. Let's try that.
Yeah, like, let's take it slow this time.
It's kind of an analogy for people who get married, like, ludicrously young.
Yeah. I mean, they were born married,
Yeah.
so, like, it was very cute.
Then there was, Mama Said, which...
What the fuck?
Mama Said... I mean, the end of Mama Said is what was strange. So... The King of Ooh is like, get me some mushrooms. And then they go to get... Finn and Jake go to get mushrooms. Flying mushrooms. And Finn and Jake go to get them, and they meet up with Canyon again. Who, on the last episode, were like, it looks like a combination of Billy and Canyon. It's just Canyon.
Whoops.
Whoopsie daisy.
And they just hang out, and it's cool, and I kind of forget a lot of the details, actually.
Okay, so she's looking for a sacred spring of her people, and she's using a dowsing rod. And Finn and Jake are just, like, really not feeling the King of Ooh. They don't want to do what he tells them to do, and they're, like, having this slight debate where it's like, well, you know, it's an order from royalty. We have to do this, but at the same time, like, Canyon's cool, and we want to hang out with Canyon. So they hang out with Canyon. Canyon helps them sort of fudge the mushroom flying nonsense. But then it turns out there actually are flying mushrooms, and they all congeal into this giant sentient mega mush that, like, wants to incorporate everything into its mushness or something.
I didn't get that at the beginning, but you know what that just now gives me, what it reminds me of? Earthbound. That seems like something that would be in Earthbound.
Oh yeah, definitely. And, you know, so they're helping Canyon find the spring, and they're just sort of chilling. And then they fight the Mega Mush, and Canyon finds the spring and uses it to defeat the mushroom, and everything goes back to normal. And the spring becomes like a weapon. It's like a scarf, I guess. It's interesting. And then they sort of fudge something to present to the King of Ooh, which is
they get him a pizza.
I would really want that pizza.
But he fires them. And that's how it ends. They get fired.
Well,
that's not how it ends. Then he falls down some stairs, and then...
He tries to ride the pizza because Jake said it'll fly if you believe hard enough, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And then he knocks himself the fuck out, and the banana guards don't really know what to do, so they just start awkwardly singing this, like, fucking, like, doo-wop song.
It's a real
really
song.
Badly.
It's Mama Said by the Shirelles. It's a real song.
Oh, shit, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a real... It has, like, 2 lines they just keep repeating.
It's probably the chorus.
Yeah, so I didn't know. You could think that up in 2 minutes.
Mama said... Like, how did it go?
Mama said there'd be days like this. There'd be days like this. Mama said... I'm not going to edit that, and it's going to be unbearable.
Good.
And then... Football. I'm worried about BMO, you guys.
I think BMO's doing okay.
I don't.
That's not what okay is. That's not... Okay, so...
Between this and BMO Noir, it's like, BMO...
Oh yeah, BMO's always been crazy.
How do you perceive reality? Like...
Okay, so we've seen...
Do you even have a concept of reality?
We've seen football twice in the first and second Greybles episodes, where it's BMO talking to his reflection, and with the idea of teaching football how to be a real boy/girl, depending on what day it is, because they're both gender fluid.
Well, they're just robots.
Yeah, but the pronouns that they use.
The pronouns are fluid, and like in both of those episodes, you never see both BMO's face and football's face at the same time to very loosely imply the idea that they might be different, although it's like clearly not. What I always saw it as is like BMO working out it's how she tries to rationalize her own like humanity or sentience or consciousness or sapience or whatever you want to call it.
And BMO's lonely. I mean, Finn and Jake are always out and about, and they don't, even when they're home, they're usually doing their own thing. So like BMO's just kind of in the house all day by himself. With Nepter, maybe, when they remember that Nepter exists.
Yeah. So in this episode, BMO and football agree to switch places for a day. So BMO goes into football's mirror realm, which we see happen. We see BMO in that, and it's like, this episode really blurs the line as to whether or not any of that was real.
Yeah.
Masterfully so.
The mirror realm goes only as far as what you can see when looking in the mirror. So, like, everything behind you up into a certain point. And that's it.
And then, like, football is out in the real world. It's like, I'm not BMO, I'm football. I'm a real boy. And everything. And Finn and Jake are like you would with, like, a kid doing a weird imagination game. It's like, okay, football. But they keep forgetting to call in that.
Yeah, and then they have this beautiful moment when football calls a family meeting and sits down. It's like, everybody, I have something to tell you. BMO and I have switched places, but I'm not going back, and I'm going to be football forever. and they're like, I think like Finn and Jake were like, okay, it's like a metaphor for like the child like changing identities, like okay, BMO. You're football now. Hooray.
Yeah, the idea is that they don't understand it, but are trying their best to be supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very apropos considering the gender politics at work within BMO's character. This is something of an analogy to that.
You know, it's almost like akin to like somebody saying like, I want to go by she and her pronouns now, or I want to go by this name, and then the family's like, okay, but then they keep forgetting by accident and slipping up and then trying to refix it, and then it's like, but this is not as benign. This is like BMO. It's a different kind of identity crisis. It's like a psychotic break almost.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as gender fluidity. And then they get really worried about BMO. Like Jake like tries to like pull, like they try to pull him aside like multiple times, and they're like, "Hey, like dude, like is there something going on that you want to tell us about? Like what's happening?"
The thing is that the Game Boy walking around never breaks the bit. So again, it implies that like it's hard to tell. Is this all in BMO's brain, or did this happen and Finn and Jake just couldn't notice because it seems incongruous with BMO's weird behavior?
Yeah, like, is there a mirror world? Like a reflection world? I wouldn't put it past Adventure Time to actually have one of these things. That's not beyond the scope of what's possible in the land of Ooh, but like...
That would be the biggest... That would be probably the biggest fucking twist of the series, is if, like, all of BMO's insane fantasies were actually real this entire time.
Like, he has a robot vision as opposed to, like, Ice King's wizard vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something.
But I love when football was like, oh, this is George. He was my best friend in college.
Yeah.
So that's that. We got a week off of Adventure Time, and then...
Steaks.
It's going to be two episodes a night, Monday through Thursday, and then they're going to play the whole thing again on Friday.
Should we wait for, like, the whole thing before we talk about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe even do a Tiny Goons, depending on our schedules. And then there was a Harvey, where he has to fight Kratz because Rooter and Techno Bear say so, and both of them are like, what? Okay.
Because they have a disagreement about what a cloud looks like. And Rooter and Techno Bear are like, oh, you guys have to settle your disagreements by punching each other.
You gotta fight now, otherwise you can't be friends.
Who told you that? Our dads. And
then friggin' Harvey's mom.
Like, oh my god, Harvey's mom was the best.
Harvey's mom was like, you will never be able to win in a fight unless you fight dirty. you throw...
That's what you do. You throw milk in their face, and then you punch them in the nose.
And in trying to do that, he knocks out 3 people. It's like, what is, like, I'm a monster!
Yeah.
And he calls them his murder fists.
And then the murder fists talk to him in the night like, Harvey, I'm gonna destroy everything! No, murder fists, no!
And then they just both beat the shit out of each other in protest.
They beat the shit out of themselves.
Out of themselves.
And everybody's like, oh, no, this isn't fun anymore.
Oh, no.
So, very cute. That's it for recaps. This is shaping up to be an Iron Giant sized episode. Glaggity hoo.
Shoutouts.
Stouts.
Okay, we got a really cute, wonderful letter, I believe from Danielle. Just the sweetest, most wonderful letter ever. I read it to my mom. I was like, "Look, Mom, look what they said. It was so nice." Thank you so much for being so wonderful.
Yeah.
And they suggest Ernest and Celestine, Nocturna, Land Before Time, Song of the Sea.
The Song of the Sea we're definitely going to do as soon as we can see it.
And I also want to do Land Before Time, because I think I've only seen the original movie, once.
What? Oh,
Most of what I saw were the sequels. That's what they showed on TV.
They're completely different films. I love the first handful of the sequels for what they were as kids' films that I watched when I was a kid, but The Land Before Time is The Land Before Time.
I know. I knew the sequels better than I knew the actual movie.
Me too. I still remember a lot of the songs.
So yeah, God. I would very much like to do The Land Before Time.
There were alien dinosaurs at one point.
No. Also, they said if we were to make buttons or shirts or something, they would definitely buy them.
We've been thinking about that kind of stuff.
That's one.
We've been thinking about it, but again, we haven't made any money off of this show.
The thing is, in order to make money off of something, you need an incredibly large audience, because only an amazingly small percentage is going to want to spend money. Like right now, you're probably the only person that would buy them.
Yeah, who would actually put the money down and buy a $20 t-shirt.
This was dope. We got an email from Zach Bellissimo, one of the creators of Long Gone Gulch, the crowdfunding campaign we mentioned 2 episodes ago. He listened to the podcast and thanked us for the plugs and the kind words about the work and his dope sideburns. And he says, on a side note, don't worry about Buffalo Wing. We're doing her right. People are judging it too early. So it's nice to know that they're being conscientious about it.
Yeah.
I trusted him.
Yeah, I'll trust you. I have no reason not to trust you, so I will trust you. Because you're a very wonderful, cool guy, and thank you so much for writing to us and, listening to our show. That's really cool. Let's see. At Cyberpunk Warlock says, Rise of the Guardians and possibly Rebels. Awesome! That they're talking about our December lineup. And yes, that looks like what we're going to be doing. Maybe. I mean, it's Christmas, so we probably won't be doing 1 week. We might take a week off. We'll see.
Nina and I are traveling internationally the week of Christmas. We're probably going to take that week off.
Probably. At Vertov says, have you guys ever considered doing an episode on Space Ghost Coast to Coast? Very influential show, I think. Love your podcast.
I have, but it's 200 episodes.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of formatless. I dig it, but it was just it would be kind of a weird one to do. Especially
I've never
its size.
actually watched Space Ghost, so
it's been years.
I've seen 2 bits of Space Ghost. They had the episode with Craig McCracken on it in the box set of Powerpuff Girls. And sort of a behind-the-scenes making of that episode. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was a little kid watching Cartoon Network, and I had no idea what the fuck I was watching. It's I could tell that it was, made from old cartoon stuff, because they had done those bumpers and stuff before, but I thought it was a bumper that just didn't end, because it was just 3 guys sitting around a table talking and not doing anything, and at 6 years old, that's not a cartoon.
No.
It was so bizarre. When I later found out what it was, it filled in a lot of holes in my memory.
Yeah.
So, at Grace is Alive says, I did not expect Tooch to look like that, but I did expect Nicky the Rat to look like that, minus the amount of eyeliner.
I don't know
what photo they're referring to.
I'm not sure what photo you're referring to, but...
Well, I guess if it was just the 2 of us, it must have been the AX one.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I had my sunglasses on. She probably follows both of our accounts. Maybe Tumblr too. Yeah, I guess I look like the nerdlinger I sound like.
I guess I don't.
Here's a whiny know-it-all who looks exactly like he sounds. Why, thank you, Senator. My strong bad impression is still terrible, but getting a little bit better. At this rate, 2024, I'll have it down.
Ailey said, best things about this podcast. When Nina says cute, when Tooch says yeah, and when Nikki says that's dope.
Start drinking game.
Mr. Awesome Potato says, hey guys, been watching some of your older episodes, also catching up, still as great and funny as I remember. I wanted to know if you would add Venture Brothers to the pile, also
Yes.
if you guys are going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Fuck no.
No.
Absolutely never.
Yes and no.
Unless somebody pays
respectively.
us to go to San Diego Comic-Con, we're not going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Even then, it's gonna feel like an obligation.
Yeah, we
to
wouldn't
me.
even go to New York Comic Con, and that's on the coast that we live on.
I live in the city,
You've been, and
Going to
you've
that.
been to New York Comic Con twice, and I bet you would never go back, right?
I don't want to go back. I have no desire.
And then he also asked for Gorillas, and that's like the 5th time somebody's asked for Gorillas. So I guess we got it.
including me.
We got to get on Gorillas 2016.
When's that new album coming out?
Probably 2016.
We'll do it then.
Although, if that is the case, then probably 2017, because those two motherfuckers can't get along long enough to make consistent albums.
Yeah.
All right. And somebody tagged us on a funny Tumblr post. What was their name? Korasami, I think. They tagged us on just like a funny Tumblr post about the bisexual haircut.
Yeah, it's just women in like short, almost bob haircuts.
Yeah,
Almost
the main thing,
Bob-esque.
the main thing is that Marceline's haircut for Steaks is basically Cora's season 4 haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna have a lot of different hairstyles for Steaks.
Yeah, but that's the one on the DVD cover.
Yeah.
This was dope. Ian McGinty listened to the podcast and liked it and promoted us and retweeted our Chicken Run episode. Not Chicken
Yes, he
Run,
says-
the other one.
Hey, thanks for the really nice review of our short guys. Glad you liked it. It's hard to describe animated stuff at panels. And then when he retweeted it, he said, a really cool podcast about movies and animation and stuff. They discuss Showside and don't rip me a new beehole.
You're welcome.
Have people been doing that to you?
That being in the animation industry in 2015, that's probably a constant fear.
Yeah. Well, we loved it, man. We're so glad that you liked our show, too. And you shared it with your followers. Like, that's very, very kind of you.
He's got 3,300. That helped. That's great. I'm
Oof.
glad that happened.
That's probably one of our first big significant bump.
Yeah, that's a important bump.
And also in his Twitter bio, he says Wind Waker is the best Zelda, so he's a good man. He's a good, correct man.
He's a good, correct man. Jimmy had some advice for Facebook pages where have it like a closed group where members can be approved entry as to avoid bots and they can have like discussions and stuff. That's like I looked it up and that's a separate thing. A page is like the official promotional page for a thing. But a group is like a fan group. So that's actually something you can start yourself as fans. As just like any fan can make a group about whatever the dealio is. Like, and I don't know if I can convert the page I already set up into a group. I don't know,
not.
man.
But you can link to the group through the page.
Okay, I guess I'll do that. I'll make a group. And then Tonana Pai also said that maybe we could try a subreddit. I don't know
how Reddit works. If one of you guys want to make a subreddit, go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't that all the stuff that the fans do themselves? Like,
yeah, like this, because it's like if we're the ones that have to make this stuff, that it's indicative that like nobody else wants
that's
it.
like
So
writing
like,
a Wikipedia page about yourself.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
make a subreddit now, no one's gonna be on it. But
Yeah.
if there's a need for it, it'll happen.
yeah.
Yeah, if
so,
anybody
like,
wants to make it, we'll like link to it or whatever. But
Yeah, we're not gonna gatekeep our own our own freaking like fan base.
yeah, you guys, if you guys
Go-
want to make
do
these
it.
things, please, and let us know about it, and we'll tell
Yeah.
everybody else that you did it, and it'll be great. And that's everybody for
Okay.
this week.
we're going super long, so you can just email us at thetoongoons.gmail.com, and you can find all the other ways to contact us on thetoongoons.tumblr.com. All of our social media shit, it's all The Toon Goons, so just search The Toon Goons and whatever website you want. We're on iTunes, please rate and subscribe. That shit is great. Those are the nicest human beings, motherfuck.
I know, those
Yep.
reviews are so...
They're so nice, I actually get anxiety attacks.
They're so nice. I don't know what to do with myself.
No, yeah, I'm having one now. We said all month, and including earlier in this show, that we are doing the Good Dinosaur next week. We did not think, because it doesn't come out for another 15 days after this recording. So we're gonna do the Peanuts movie next, because that is in theaters, and we've all got the opportunity to see it this week, and we will update you on what's next as we figure it out.
Yep. You'll be the first to know.
We're definitely doing Good Dinosaur. It may end up taking a December slot that we intended for Peanuts, but we're definitely doing that one.
Yep.
And one more thing before we go is that I want to remind everybody about the other podcast Dooch does with friend of the show, Devin, Mechtrospective, a podcast very similar to this one, but even looser in presentation about mech anime series and other robot stuff. And it's really good. It's a lot more niche than this, but if you like robots, which you do because you're listening to this, and if you listen to this, you watch the movie and you love the giant in the movie, so you like robots, listen to this other podcast. It's super great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where can we find it, Tooch?
Mechtrospective, where all the same places you can find the Toons. We're on Twitter, we're on Tumblr, we got the Gmails, we're on SoundCloud and iTunes. And this month is actually special, because normally we do it every other week, because I got this every week. But this month is a special that we're dedicating to a manga artist and really inventor of the modern idea of the super robot, Go Nagai, in what we're calling we're calling Govember.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we just dropped Mazinger Z, and then next we're dropping, the sequels to Mazinger Z, Great Mazinger and Grandizer. So yeah, look out for that.
Nice.
That has been our show. Thank you so much for sticking with us to the end. I like to think it was worth it, but then again, I'm the guy in it. So, I've been Nikki.
I've been Nina.
I continue to be Tooch.
All right. And thank you for tuning in.
Beep 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 boop 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 beep 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 beep.
See you soon.
Beep 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 beep.